by 38 points. The Lions have 3. The rest of the NFL has 0. Any issue with Dan Campbell saying he's not running up the score even though scoring a lot of points?
Absolutely not. Go ahead.
Absolutely not. Like, when I watch the Detroit Lions, they are the type of team that if you were getting into a boxing ring with the old Mike Tyson, you know exactly what you're getting in that ring.
The old Mike, not the old Mike Tyson.
The old
The
Mike.
80s Mike
The
Tyson.
80s Mike, there we go. The 80s Mike Tyson, you know exactly what you're getting in that ring to face. And either you're going to deal with it or you're going to get knocked out in that first round and you're going to collect your money and you're going to go home. That's what the Lions are doing to everybody. Like, I got a flag football team. If we played your flag football team, who I hear you talk about all the time, we blow people out. So you get the Kleenex. You get it. You have
We have to go to
prepared.
run only sometimes.
You have
guys
the
can't throw the ball
Kleenex prepared because your kids are gonna cry because I'm not gonna tell my kids they can't have fun
First of all,
doing
if you
something that
fall
they
down by
naturally
18,
do.
you got to take it at a half.
Your
Rules
league
of
has
league.
rules built in. Look, it's professional football. I hate when people get mad at professional athletes for scoring when it's over or whatever. Whether it's basketball, football, whatever, you're getting paid to do this. My thought is always stop them. If you don't like them scoring 52 on you, stop them.
They can't.
Then, hey, you're getting paid.
All right, so
you're
the
not.
question
You're not.
for you is
This is not CYO.
So this is right on the heels of the previous conversation. What's
Yeah.
going on with this?
I think we're.
That's like
I
football
was,
things
I
threw
was
me off.
hoping you didn't
It's all
notice.
over.
I was hoping
You knew it was gonna stop the show.
No, it's on
I
the-
wonder
Do you know what I'm
if
gonna
we.
say?
I think we might
Go
have
ahead.
mind melded here. You go. I want to see.
Last segment, you were like, you know what? If the Chiefs win 10-9, I'd be cool with that. That's part of the plan. Meanwhile, Dan Campbell's like, yeah, man, that's what we're doing. We're winning by 46.
Yeah.
So how do you square that circle?
You just make sure you make the Super Bowl lines. Like this, like in whenever. Greg, this is not. This is. I am
What does
just.
that have to do with? This is how they play.
I'm not. I mean, let me explain what I'm saying. I have no problem with this, by the way, none whatsoever.
Say that first.
What I am, no, I don't. Pardon me. Don't police my language, sir. What I am telling you is, one of the benefits of being the media ombudsman is I know how the media reacts to things, and if you are atop everyone's power rankings and blowing everyone out and in what is perceived to be the inferior conference and the 1 seed, and being Kevin Wildes is on television saying, why isn't this one of the greatest offenses of all time? There is a real expectation that you continue that come the postseason. They are. I don't think it's bad sportsmanship. I agree with everything you guys are saying. It's professional sports, like whatever it is. But I do think I can see the articles written where they're like, man, Ben Johnson and the Lions, used all their trick plays in the Jags game, blowing people out, and they weren't quite as effective in the divisional round against Philly or whomever. Like they are ratcheting up their own expectations because of their own excellence. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that, and they are better than any team in the league by a mile at, you can't stop this thing we do. We're going to punch you in the mouth with it repeatedly.
Yeah.
And then we're going to run a trick play off of it, and we're going to embarrass you.
Yeah.
But I don't think they are the best team in the league against teams, the top tier teams. And so like that, so I think that they are, front runner sounds bad because that's not what they are, but they can really put it on bad teams. But I just think they are upping the pressure on themselves, which can be good. The teams can respond well to that. But
Okay. Because they're winning, that means the pressure's on them to win. I mean, I don't even know how to attack a comment like that, honestly. And when I mean attack, I don't mean like in a negative attack. I just mean like kind of, unpack, get after. Because what are we saying then? The Lions should win, should not score as many points, and then people's expectations will be lower, and then they'll feel less pressure to be able to win in the playoffs. Like it doesn't even really make sense. I get to a degree what he's saying. They're putting up so many points and blowing some teams out of the water, that there's the feeling that this team is so dominant, so unstoppable, that if they get stopped in the playoffs, it's like, oh my God, what did you just do? I thought you were this amazing team. I thought you were blowing everyone out. Whereas if they were playing closer games and then they lose in the playoffs, it would be like, hey, this was a great team and it was just a tough loss. What are you going to do? It's just, I guess it lands differently, but that doesn't mean that that should change how you approach and how you get after teams and games. Like, there is a genuine anxiety. I don't care what team you are, whether you're the Eagles, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bills, you are going to have anxiety going up against this Lions team. Just like how we talk about people having anxiety going up against having Patrick Mahomes having the ball with a minute left in the fourth quarter. There is that anxiety of, oh man, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, what are they about to have dialed up? And that is what the Lions are doing. They are creating that resume, creating that case to be like, you better show up. Because if you don't, we are going to absolutely positively dominate. So he wants to say that they're putting pressure on themselves and the expectations, but the reality is they're actually putting pressure on the other teams to keep up. You either keep up or you get left behind. Which again, I'll go back to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and the Chiefs. It's the same thing. You better be up by 2 scores in the final 2 minutes. If not, and Patrick Mahomes has the ball, best of luck to you, buddy. Best of luck. That was the pressure. Put it this way. I mean, we saw this perfectly in the Bills versus Chiefs game. The pressure, because of what we know Mahomes and the Chiefs to be able to do, the pressure was absolutely positively on the Bills and Josh Allen to convert that 4th down and get a touchdown. A field goal still gives the Chiefs chances to win that game. And even just, punting it or whatever they would have maybe needed to do, or if they just didn't convert that 4th down and now they turn it over, it's like, now all Mahomes needs is a field goal, if memory serves me correctly. Best of luck. So yeah, and Nick talks about this. He talks about how teams start to make bad decisions because they're like, oh my God, we can't give Mahomes back the ball in the final 2 minutes of the game. They start to go for it on 4th downs, or they try to score a touchdown instead of a field goal, whatever it may be. Like, he talks about that, and it's true. It's a true effect that you're thinking, okay, we want to end the game with the ball, not Mahomes. Our chances of stopping Mahomes is less likely more than us having the ball at the end and scoring a field goal to win the game, although obviously that didn't work out for the Broncos. So there is that anxiety, and it's a real thing. If you feel it as a fan, the players feel it too. And so that is what the Lions are creating in their own right. It's like, you better show up. You better show up, you better put up points, and you better prove that you can stop whatever we can do. Because if not, you're going to look up and we're going to put up 50 points, and best of luck to you. So it's not a bad thing. There doesn't even need to be, like, even a conversation about, are there any drawbacks to this? Like, it doesn't even make, like, I understand in one way it's like Nick's having what I always call like a 360 conversation about a topic, but it doesn't really feel even relevant, because it's like 360 degrees of being like, yeah, technically what he's saying is true, but the focus is in the wrong aspect of it. Yeah, the expectations are raised for the Lions now. I'm pretty sure the fans are feeling that dominance more so. If they beat the Jags 21-10, they would be like, hey, we got a great team, let's go. We have a great chance at the Super Bowl. Here we go. And now if they beat the Jags 55-10, they're like, oh my God, let's go. The Super Bowl is ours to lose. So I do get that pressure and expectations, but you're failing to actually discuss what it also does for the other teams around the league and what you're building and the importance to the identity of that team. Because also sometimes you score a lot of points and it's not necessarily fundamental to the identity of the team. Perfect example, Dallas Cowboys last year. They put up a lot of points, but that was not their fundamental identity. They just ran the score up on teams who were just not that good. They beat the tomato cans, right? That's how the whole tomato can segment evolved with Brew. It wasn't a fundamental truth to who they were as a team. It is a fundamental truth to the Lions and their identity and their culture, how they practice, how they attack, their discipline, their execution. So it's just, again, it's a multi-layered thing. And yeah, again, I agree with this, right? Just playing ball, this is what we do, which is funny. That's essentially, that's everything that I just said is the long way of saying just playing ball, this is what we do. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. And that's what Dan Campbell preaches. We're going to start how we finish. We're going to finish how we start. We're going to play how we practice. Everything is the same. It's not situational in that regard. We're going to play just as hard whether we're up by 30 or down by 30. Actually, I love that. There was a quote by that. I don't have it with me, but Nick Foles actually said that. He's like, I play the same way whether I'm down by 14 or up by 14. Football is football, man. That's the way it goes. And I love that. It's true. It keeps your foot on the gas when you're winning, and it keeps you not panicking when you're down. It's a great approach to go about it. A great approach. And it obviously works incredibly well for the Lions, obviously. So I don't even like the idea of them being like, oh, they're running up the score or they're trying to embarrass teams or something like that. I do understand, the last point that I'll say is I do understand why teams don't like that and the whole unwritten rules. I think it depends. I agree that once you're in the pros, you're getting paid. That's just the way it goes. So I do agree with that. And so you can't get necessarily mad. I think when you're younger, if you're in college, high school, middle school, that thing, I think then it makes sense to, like, you know, not embarrass a bunch of kids or whatnot, especially how oftentimes sometimes teams are just so much better than these other schools or whatever. It's just like, you know, it's just the way it is. And so, yeah, like, recognize that. But I would say in football, the only time that it maybe is not, that when that unwritten rule should maybe be in practice is if you're going up against a team that's obviously like decimated by injuries, backup players, practice squad guys, you know, like a third string quarterback or even just a backup quarterback who's obviously not good, and you're just attacking him nonstop and you're already up by a ton. Like, then I could totally see the argument of like, right, you can make the argument, hey, these are pros, this is what it is, but it's also like, yeah, these are pros who are hanging on by a thread, man. Like, this is obviously not a legitimate starting NFL team, and now you're just kind of like, you're just kind of continuing to like pulverize them into pulp. And so, again, I see both sides of the argument, honestly, I do, but yeah, I figured I'd just throw that out there to see, you know, to see what other people have to say. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Detroit Lions' dominance and any issue with them scoring a ton of points, and now that it raises expectations and now you better win the Super Bowl, otherwise I guess you got egg on your face, according to Nick. I don't even know. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.